It's the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in, tune in.
Could we dive a bit into, so I know the first aspect is finding and vetting contractors. And, the thing is, like, everybody has the horror stories, right? Um, it seems like, at least according to the internet, it seems like you either have a really great experience or you have a terrible experience. What are some tips
Yeah,
you would give to someone as far, just I guess at a high level, finding and vetting contractors? Because it seems to be a
yeah,
big difficulty for a lot of people.
it is. It is. It is. So I'd say never stop. First of all, my philosophy is to have three contractor for every trade. I like that. Even with contractors that have been with me for years, I still have backups because life happens, and we still have jobs to do. We still have a project that we need to complete, even if life does happen, right? So I'd say where to find it. I start with that. So where do we find good contractors? And of course, I'm gonna say referrals. um, Friends, family, definitely a real estate investment group. There's one probably in your city or nearby. A great source, especially for contractors that have already worked for investors and that probably already know investor pricing, which is a good thing too, right? We need that discount. We need that reciprocal. We're going to give them more jobs for premium prices, not premium prices, but good prices are earned, right? And so what I also do is vet them. So let me backtrack real quick. So where can you find good contractors? Referrals, also Home Depot, maybe not in the parking lot, but contractors go there in the morning, see the contractors where they're picking up materials, how they carry themselves. Yeah, low key stalk them a little bit, see how they talk and how they're discussing their jobs, things like that. Of course, websites like Angie, those type of sites are good to call, get some contractors. I'd say even your local building department. If they can't give you referrals, there's contractors there getting permits. Those are licensed contractors. And I do suggest using licensed contractors if you're new. If you're just starting out, use licensed contractors, get stuff inspected, and keep those contractors accountable. Uh, um, Other hand, you might have a good handyman if you're experienced. And my experienced investors know you have a good handyman or something that you can handle. Where else? Let me look. Yeah, even building safety, supply stores, flooring stores, all those type of things are pretty good to find them. Even, hey, I found some contractors just on the street, like driving around, seeing a guy working on a house,
Yeah.
go in and say, hey, let me check out your work. It looks good. Let me get your number. I've done that several times as well. And once you find them, then you want to vet them. So you want to ask them questions. I'm not going to go over all the questions, but ask them questions like, hey, um, what's the time frame of completing this project? What's your average time frame? Have you worked on investment properties? What's your starting time? What's your ending time? How many how many dedicated workers are you going to have working on my project? Sometimes, they try to get the jobs and then they have several jobs with like two workers, right? Questions like that.
Got it. Got
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
And so, in terms of managing contractors, a struggle a lot of people have is stuff not getting done on time, right? I've
yes,
experienced it, like everybody's
yes,
experienced it. And what I realize is for newer investors, it's very easy to be kind of timid and let them take control and dictate things. And we've heard plenty of stories, right? Like this is how a lot of people have
yes.
been taken advantage of. So how do you draw the line between, all right, this is the schedule, this is what we agreed on, this is what we need to do, and allowing room for when things happen?
Yes. So I say from the very beginning, like establish that authority. Um, uh, a contractor will take advantage of you if he or she can, right? So definitely establish that authority from the beginning. I'd like to produce my own scope sheet, and that's basically, hey, this is the work that I want you to do, and we get that scope sheet off doing an inspection. So we know we go through what needs to be repaired, what are the upgrades we want to do, and then give that to each of your contractors so you have apple to apple pricing. but also so they don't get any fancy ideas. Say, oh, well, all this needs to be done. All this needs to be done. You're like, no, no, no. I'm the investor. This is my property. I know what I want, and that's what I want, right? But then also knowing what you want for sure, right? So that's what the inspections for, all that type of stuff is to know, have a game plan before talking to a contractor, what you want to do with that property. Don't use the contractor to help you come up with a strategy on your investment property. A contractor that knows nothing about investing, don't use them for that. Where am I at? So, man, I just lost my train of thought there, right?
No, you're good. You're good. No, you're good. We were talking about management. I feel like you shared a good bit on that. And the next thing is, so something else that I'm sure you've seen and perhaps you've experienced, some people go into a rehab project, they may have barely enough money to get to the finish line and not accounting for when things don't go wrong. Well, not accounting for when things go wrong, where you might go over budget or things of that nature. What's your recommendation as far as that? Like, how can someone prevent themselves from being in a place where, one, their contractor is just adding on a bunch of change orders, or two, they just didn't properly budget and didn't give themselves enough cushion for when things happen?
Yeah. So you definitely have to build that in. It's hard to backtrack, but it feels great when you built it in from the beginning. So definitely have I say 10 to 15% contingency in case something goes wrong, in case a contractor, doesn't do his job and you have to get rid of him, or in case there's a surprise on the project. With remodeling, there's just so many monkey wrenches. There's so many things that can go wrong. There's so many things behind the walls you don't know, especially the age of the house, or a lot of other issues that could come up, and you need to plan ahead of time. And let's say, hey, you didn't plan ahead of time, then you have to figure out what you're going to cut back on. So you're at this point right now, what can I cut back on to get this project done? And the objective here is to make a profit. We don't want to just do this just for a learning lesson. We don't want to do it just to break even. We want to make a profit. So how can we do that? And a good way also not to let the contractors get too far ahead, too many change orders, is to stay on top of them. I like to say do daily updates, whether you can make it to the property or not. Have that contractor contact you every day and discuss what they got done per the schedule that we created before, right? That they agreed on. And we have to keep them accountable. And I also say do a progress evaluation. So weekly, have a more of a formal, okay, let's sit down. Where's the project? We're here at the budget. What can we do to get back on budget? What can we do to save more money? If we're on budget, what can we do to even do better as we move forward? Let's always try to optimize as we're going along. Not wait till it's too late. Now wait until we have, the fifth change order from a contractor. But as we're going along, step by step by step, let's stay on top of this project.
Definitely. And what I really like about what you went through is just the consistent communication and consistent updates. So when you were talking about how often you update, I'm like, all right, maybe he's gonna say weekly, but you said daily, which I like even more, because I'm just thinking in my own experience and just smaller jobs or whatever, like they're probably not gonna be in a rush to give you any updates because they got probably other stuff going on, other projects going on, and if they could slide a little bit, they will. So I do like the idea of the daily updates and also the progress evaluation as well. Do you recommend this type of process and being on top of it for smaller jobs too?
I do. Just because it'll man, it's a process that you just plug and play, right? So you do it even on smaller projects and you just know the rhythm, the system, you keep it going. Not only that, the contractors that you use become accustomed to this, because we have to train our contractors. Every contractor that I work with, I've had to train on my system. They come in, just want to, come bang walls and, spread dirt, but we need to train them to, comply with what we have going on. We're the boss. We're the boss on the project. Yeah. And so I'd say small projects, big projects, let's do it. Let's keep this process and let's keep it systematized, right? The contractor, call them. There's contractors where I have a project, right? And I call them, say, hey, got a new project. They know exactly what to do. They'll go take a look at it. My garage door guy will go take a look at it. Oh yeah, we can keep this garage door opener, but the door, these panels need to be replaced. I can replace some of them, but they'll be different. The whole thing, right? My HVAC guy, he goes out and says, yeah, this unit, we can tweak it a little bit, can probably get through escrow. I can't give you a certification, right? My roofer, yeah, I checked out the roof. Yeah, I just need to repair a couple spots. I'll give you a roof certification. So if we have, a system in place, then it can just be replicated, right, small or large.
Hi everyone, Sam here from the Black Real Estate Dialogue. Make sure to hit that notification bell and that subscribe button and to visit us at blackrealestatedialogue.com.